Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah.
I saw him many times on different altars, and I never saw him as sannyasi on any altar. Could you please explain it? Does anybody worship him as a sannyasi in this?
Yes. Well, you can make different observations about the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. Told that Chaitanya Bhagavat is the original biography of Mahaprabhu given by Vrindavan Das Thakur. And he's presented his life, his birth, life and pastimes in a particular way. Actually, more or less concluding with the sannyas of Mahaprabhu. Emphasis on the Adi Leela, the pastimes before that in Navadvip. Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam begins really after summarizing the early pastimes of Mahaprabhu, the Adi Leela. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying he's going to present the Shesh Leela of Mahaprabhu and divide that, that means the final pastimes. And he divides that into two sections, the Madhya Leela in the middle and Antya Leela, concluding or final. And he's presenting Mahaprabhu in a particular way. We can observe or conclude by analysis that the internal reason for Mahaprabhu's descent find its Radha Bhava Duti Subalita Nomi Krishna Swarupam, finds its fullest expression in Puri, in the Gangbhir. We know that for many years, 16, 18 years, Mahaprabhu is celebrating the Rath Yatra of Jagannath with his devotees. And that means it's a public observance. And as we see to this day, the Rath Yatra, you were there this year, Amisandu? Yeah. 1,000,000 people. When they say 1,000,000, it's not an exaggeration. So that and what is called Uddhava Darshani, the Brahma Gita, the substance of Srimati Radharani's divine madness in meeting Uddhava, who's delivering Krishna's gift after so long of separation, that he's exploring the depths of this Radha Bhav in the company of Srup Damodar, Ramananda in the Gangbhir. It means his private bhajan chamber. There are no windows. There's only a door with a guard. That means these are very high, internal, confidential pastimes. Radha Bhava Duty. Enveloped by the heart and halo of Srimati Radharani in the presence of Srup Damodar. Vishaka means Lalita Vishaka, Srup Damodar Ramananda, Lalita Vishaka. They're supplying songs, poetry, slokas to supplement and augment the different moods, if we want to use that word, of Mahaprabhu. Or he's listening to Krishna Karnamritam, Gita Govinda, the songs of Chandi Das Vidyapati, Antaranga Bhakta Kore, Rasa Ashvadan. So privately in seclusion with Sri Damodar, Ramananda, he's tasting these things. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kiddushobanayeva. We're told that the time for Krishna's descent, the avatar, coincided with some particular internal feelings of Krishna. It's a very unique position. Sahasra Yuga Parjantam Ohor Yad Brahmano Vidu. Once in a day of Brahma. Means once in 8,600,000,000 years. Krishna comes. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. Right? Reality the beautiful. The expression, highest theistic expression of divinity, where beauty is in the paramount position, not opulence, not anything else, but beauty, Satchit Anandam, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, Sundarananda, beauty, love, charm, and sweetness, highest expression. One of the names of Srimati Radharani is Krishnamoyi, and that can be interpreted variously, but in summary, Srila Guru Maharaj observes that no one is more full of Krishna and capable of giving Krishna and the highest quality Krishna than Srimati Radharani. Swayam Bhagavan, hence the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, is at the right hand of Srimati Radharani. That is Krishna, the full expression of Krishna. It's like a person in this world, any person, but particularly exalted personalities, they may find it rare to have the company that allows them to fully be themselves. Even in common parlance, people say, "Oh, I can't really be myself around this person. They expect me to be like this or like that." So, but particularly those who are famous, gorgeous, etc., they're hankering for an interaction with people who can allow them to be themselves as they are privately and candidly, and to the full extent. So on account of the majestic aspect of divinity, Aishwarya, Gyan, that's very good for those who are devoted in such a way. Shantarasa, Dasyarasa. But it's revealed in Chaitanya Charitamritam that Krishna, there's some disappointment on his part. If on account of Aishwarya Gyan, too much awareness of the majestic aspect of Krishna, of divinity, that constrains or constricts the natural flow of love from the heart, Krishna is revealing candidly in Chaitanya Charitamritam that is disappointing to him. Whereas he prefers, he said, if my friends approach me and they want to wrestle with me, they think they're telling the absolute entity, the absolute ultimate reality, omniscient, omnipotent divinity, you're not such a big man. Right? This is not on an insult level. This is out of love and affection. You're not so big. I think if we fight, I can beat you. How about 2 out of 3? Krishna saying, this I find charming, that they can so much suppress who I am. Does this Guru Maharaj give the example? The king. If a king wants to fight, if you find some partners going, forgive me, Your Majesty, I didn't mean, forgive me, that's not the guy who can fight with him. I'm sorry, I can't, When Krishna, after subduing Kaliya, when he came out, there are different cowherd boys assembled on the shore, Nanda and Yashoda being revived, and we're told Rupa Goswami is making a point in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and he says, one cowherd boy, he started to raise his arms to embrace Krishna, and he thought, oh, I can't do that. That's one level. Whereas Krishna is saying, if my beloved, meaning Srimati Radharani, if she's cursing me for some perceived fault or misbehavior, he said, that steals my mind away from the reverential hymns of the Vedas. So you've got the Vedas personified offering these hymns in perfect Sanskrit to Krishna, glorifying him to the extreme. And he's saying, if Radharani, speaking as a cowgirl, not in Sanskrit, in their own language, if in that language she is cursing Krishna, expressing some man, that Krishna, it drowns out the hymns of the Vedas. This we need to understand about Krishna. So Krishna revealed his whole sweetness to everyone when he appeared, but that left him yet hankering to embrace that position. As we're told, he will see his reflection in a mirror or a jeweled column in Dwarka and wonder, feel that it's awakening sentiments in him that are like that of Srimati Radharani, but he can't taste it. He can only understand it intellectually, theoretically. Why? Well, if we're following the revealed truth and what is being expressed, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. He's the supreme enjoyer, he's the supreme male. So he can only theoretically understand the position of the supreme female, Srimati Radharani. But when this time comes, once in a day of Brahma, Krishna comes, the overlapping of the yugas and the Kali Yuga that follows, Swayam Bhagavan, Avatar Sar, Gaura Avatar, Mahaprabhu appears. Bahiranga Sangakore, Nam Sankirtam, Antaranga Sangakore, Rasa Aswadam. On the one hand, he is the Nam Sankirtan, the Yuga Dharma, disseminating, but internally, Srup Damodar Ramananda, Rasa Ashvadan, he's Hladani Shakti Pushti, that Krishna, he's Akila Rasamrita Murti. Krishna is Rasaraj. To taste Rasaraj, one has to be in a different position. So as Guru Maharaj says, Atma Savalila Purnasokya Lakshanam. Sweetness is tasting itself and going mad as an outcome. Like everyone is mad after sweetness. The sweet thing, sugar. But if sugar thought, everyone is, what is this? When they're tasting me, I see there's so much delight and madness. I want to also taste sugar. So I have to take another position to have that experience. So Krishna is making the observation that what is being experienced, tasted, experienced, the position of Srimati Radharani, to taste and experience himself, he'll have to become her. Sometimes before the Rath Yatra, Nityananda Prabhu from a distance sees not only how Mahaprabhu is dancing like Srimati Radharani and making expressions like Srimati Radharani, but sometimes he sees that he has become Radharani herself. So he keeps a distance, not to disturb that position. But we've heard from Srila Guru Maharaj that when it becomes clear, known to Srimati Radharani, Krishna's intention to descend in this world and embrace her position, that she knows, Lalita Saki knows as well, the devastating effects of separation from Krishna. Because Mahaprabhu, Krishna's Mahaprabhu, his two focal points are to be noted. They're both separation. Not about union, about separation. Union, he knows everything about union as Krishna. That's not his interest. This point has to be clearly understood. It is not his, he already knows that. He is Adi Purusha, it's Rasaraj. But the Bahye Vishajalahoy Bitare Anandamoy Krishna Premier Adbhuta Charit, the Adbhuta Charit, the inconceivably wonderful characteristic or quality of being, the type of love and depth of heart that is achieved in separation from Krishna, that he wants to experience. And that reaches its zenith at 2 points, Kurukshetra and the Uddhava Darshan. So the Kurukshetra means Rath Yatra celebration, Uddhava Darshan, behind closed doors, Brahma Gita with Srup Damodar Ramananda. So I want, hearing about these things from Srila Guru Maharaj, I asked him, then what shall we consider higher, the Puri or Navadvip? And it's a mysterious answer, because you can say, well, really, the internal purpose is being fulfilled in Puri, and Navadvip is another type of happiness. So Guru Maharaj can understand my question better than I can. But he said, stalwart followers of Mahaprabhu prefer Navadvip. Right? And then he began to explain. We understand Jagannath Puri is parallel to Dwaraka. Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, Yata Yata Gora Padara Vinde Vinde Te Bhaktim Krita Punyarasi, Tata Tatot Sarpati Hridya Kasmad Radha Padamboja Sudamburasi. Prabodhananda, we understand, is drawing a parallel of Navadvip being Vrindavan. Right? As Gaur Leela is Krishna Leela in distribution mode, Navadvip is Vrindavan in distribution mode. So there's a parallel between Vrindavan and Navadvip. Just like the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, Srimat Chaitanya Saraswata Mata Bara Udgita Kirtir Jayasrim, Vibrat Sambati Ganga Tata, Nikata, Navadvipa, Koladri, Adriraj, Koladri Raje. It's Gupta Govardhan. on the banks of the Ganga and Navadip, we will discover Gupta Govardhan, Govardhan in its hidden position. So, Guru Maharaj is referencing the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur when, after having taken sannyas for so many years, being separated from his hometown, he returns, and we hear he goes to Vidyanagar, Vidya Vachaspati, the brother relation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And when the word spreads like wildfire that Nimai Pandit has returned, then madly people are making their way from Navadip to Vidyanagar. We have some hint of this sort of thing. Rupa Goswami in the Chaitanyastakam, Sado Pasha Sriman Drita Manujakaye Pranaitam Bahadbi Girvanesha Girisha Parameshti Prabritibi Sabbhaktebya Shudham Nijabhajana Mudramisham Satchetan Kime Punar Pidashorya Shatipadam Shiva Brahma Sado Pasha Sriman. They all want Sriman Drita Manu to see the beauty of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. If Sri Krishna is reality the beautiful, right? Sundarananda, right? And Srimati Radharani is his better half, then what sort of beauty is there when they combine? Say, no one can be more beautiful than Krishna, but we say, well, but Radharani is Krishna's inner sweetness expressed, his better half. But what if you have the combination of Radha and Krishna? That's unthinkable, inconceivable. And only someone of the caliber of Sri Rupa is capable of expressing that. Raso Dama, Kamar Buddha, Madhura Damojvala Tanur. The sweetness of that beauty, what is comparable to? Raso da Udama Kamar Buddha. If 10 million cupids in full-blown, fully expressed cupidity were concentrated as one, this would give a hint of the direction of the beauty and sweetness of Gaura Hari, Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So even the gods are descending into this plane disguised to have a glimpse of the beauty of Gaura Hari. Right? So their numbers are increasing as the people from Navadip go to Vidyanagar. Now it's lakhs of people. So many people were told when they're madly running that when they come to the Ghat, there's a few boats there. How to accommodate all the people? They can't wait. They all just enter the water. But no one drowns. There's so many people. It's not the water's parted. There's just so many people, nobody can drown. And they're going in any way, shape, or form imaginable. And when they arrive, Mahaprabhu is on the balcony of the house of Vidya Vachaspati, and people have a glimpse. They're climbing trees. And by the Achinta Shakti, Lila Shakti, Lord, trees, even a twig can support a body. So the people on everywhere, they want to see the beauty of Mahaprabhu. But they're seeing him as a sannyasi. So their hearts are, on the one hand, full of joy. They're also heartbroken to see his beautiful curling hair shaved away, to see him in the sannyas vesh, the dress of a sannyasi. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written one song, and he gives a parallel expression to what they're seeing and experiencing there, to that of what was seen and experienced by the Braja Gopis in Kurukshetra. After long separation, they're seeing Krishna in Kurukshetra, and they're conflicted because they see Krishna's now Raj Vesh. He's in the dress of a king, and there's no flute, no Jamuna, no peacock, all of these things, and their hearts are broken, or they're filled with disappointment. This is not the Krishna of Vrindavan on the banks of the Jamuna, Gopavesh, Venukar, Navakishore, Natabar, Naralilahoy, Anurup. In the Gopavesh, the cowherd dress. Again, we say, what, is it just a matter of clothes? No, we're talking about the ultimate expression of sweetness. That how beautiful is Krishna? Mahavishnu wants to see the beauty of Krishna. Right? Vishnu, who's pretty much about as close as you can get to becoming Krishna without being Krishna, other than Ramachandra and Balaram, is eager to see the beauty of Krishna. And then if we go further, Dwaraka Krishna is astonished to see the beauty of Vrindavan Krishna. Now, the Sureshanam Durgam Gati Ati Shayena Upanishadam Muninam Sara Panata Patalima Madhurima Vinir Yasa Nikila Pashu Palam Bujadrisham Satchetanna Kime Punar Pidashorya Shatipadam. The Braja Gopis, when they see, and they're disguised in various forms, when they see Krishna as Mahaprabhu, their hearts are filled with pride for their mistress, Srimati Radharani. They say, oh, look at him. Now he is like her, lost in her heart. It's the ultimate triumph for them. The ultimate triumph of devotion. And as the infinite coming under the control of the finite, here, the ultimate triumph of devotion. Radha Bhava Duty Subolita Nomi Krishna Srupam. They're worshipping that Krishna. So, still, as we told, they are disappointed to see Krishna appearing in this way, in the dress of a king, absent the flute. The devotees in Navadvip, when they see Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi, and where he's called Raj Vesh, like Maharaj Vesh, in the dress of a Maharaj, in the dress of a sannyasi, and his beautiful hair taken away. It's heartbreaking to them. They have so much love for Nimai Pandit. He's taken this position, Patita Pavana Gaura Hari, to save the world. But it's heartbreaking for his devotees to see him in this way. It's heartbreaking for them to observe and hear the kind of piteous wailing from the coming out of the Gangbir and when he's being devastated by separation from Krishna. Told in one place, it's like a comparison is being given of the ecstasy of Mahaprabhu to being like a field of sugar cane into which the mad elephants of ecstasy enter and devastate the place. Like in India, this still happens. There's roaming packs of elephants. In Bengal, so you imagine if elephants go into a sugarcane field and start madly eating sugar, they get intoxicated. There was in the news in Bengal, they also make beer in open fields. Some elephants, a group of elephants entered the field, drank all the beer, and they went crazy, like destroying villages, huts, just trashing everything in the madness of their intoxication. So Kaviraj Goswami said, if you take it that all this sweetness is like sugarcane, then the mad elephants of ecstasy entered and they relished all these different ecstatic conditions and went mad on account of that. Waves of devastating ecstasy going over the form of Mahaprabhu, causing him to sometimes rub his lotus face into the wall to the point of bleeding, for his limbs to become separated at the joint by this much. When it's going in one direction, in another direction of contraction, his limbs entering his body, he appearing like a golden pumpkin. These things are a cause of distress to the hearts of his devotees. Or him falling, mistaking in divine Brahm illusion, mistaking the ocean for the Jamuna, and lying there as if dead for 9 hours until they could bring him out and at last revive him. This type of expression of ecstasy, it is peculiar and bewildering. It is not. It doesn't put a smile on your face. What it tells you is it points to is a particular level of intensity. So, there are mixed feelings. The devotees, they don't like to see Nimai Pandit shorn of his beautiful hair and appearance in the dress of a sannyasi. So you don't see him worshipped anywhere that way by stalwart devotees of Mahaprabhu. They're not doing that. It's very sweet. It points to how much love they have for him. They can't tolerate it. If someone's worshipping Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi, then we can understand by inversion, they don't have so much appreciation. They don't have that sort of love and affection. That's why Guru Maharaj is saying, on a comparative analysis, the stalwart devotees, they will prefer Navadvip. So in that song, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, when will he give up the robes of renunciation and come and join us again at Srivas Sangam, and we will sing and dance and have our Prem Nam Sankirtan as we had before? That's as the gopis say, oh, when will Krishna give up this dress of a king, surrounded by so many chariots and sophisticated people, and come back and dance with us on the banks of the Jamuna? Like that. We say, oh, is Krishna of Dwarka not beautiful? Of course. But it's not satisfying to the Braja Gopis. Is Narayana Vaikuntha not beautiful? No. But not, he's Aiswarja, Samagrasya, etc., but not comparable to the beauty and sweetness of Krishna. So it's a mysterious thing, devotion, always. When Nimai Pandit went to Katwa to take sannyas, when they started to shave his hair, people were wailing. Their hearts they couldn't tolerate it. They were going to threaten Keshava Bharati, who's giving the sannyas, that we will destroy your ashram if you go ahead and do this. So how intense is the love and affection of these devotees for Mahaprabhu is beyond what we can properly conceive. So at Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, it has to do with the eyes of devotion, how they are seeing. So as Guru Maharaj said, the stalwart followers of Mahaprabhu, they prefer Navadvip and the way he appears in Navadvip, and that's how they're worshipping the Lord. Even we see Gaur Gadadhar, they're showing them that way. Not in the dress of renunciates. Any other question? Yes.
Kurukshetra is Puri.
It parallels.
Yeah. And then
Wait, Puri parallels Dwaraka. That's what you need to understand. Jagannath is Dwaraka Krishna. So Rath Yatra, Kurukshetra, what is that? When the inhabitants of Dwaraka, they go to Kurukshetra for the solar eclipse. And the inhabitants of Vrindavan come from Vrindavan, they're meeting there. So Jagannath comes out of his abode, right? And on the Rath Yatra, he's going to Gundicha, which represents Vrindavan. So we're told once a year, he may feel separation all the time, but once a year he feels Dwaraka Krishna is overwhelmed by separation from Vrindavan and Radharani Brajagopis. So on the plea of visiting his hometown, like we could say, they feel some separation from their hometown, nostalgia, right? But once a year, they say, I can't take it anymore. I've got to go. Right? But because here, Queens of Dwarka, taken as a whole, Lakshmi representation, Mahishigan, that they've heard something about Vrindavan, and say, what is Vrindavan? Cows, Gopa, Gopi, Nanda, Yashoda, but there's also Radharani and Brajagopis. In this world, if some woman, she thought, my husband wants to go to his hometown to see his old girlfriend, right? Is that him? I mean, that could happen, right? So, Krishna saying, I'm going with my brother and sister, Baladev and Subhadra. So don't think anything wrong about this visit to my hometown. I'm going with my brother and sister. Right? After a few days, 5 days, Hera Panchami, Lakshmi Devi saying, there's something wrong with this. Right? That's when she comes. We're told, and she's feeling some neglect, but rather than the neglect resulting in her neglecting herself, her beauty, her dress, she shows the opposite by dressing very nicely, ascending a palanquin, a gold jeweled throne with dancers, support group. In a royal fashion, she's going to retrieve her husband. Yadvanchana Sri Lalanacharatapo Vihaya Kamam Suchitam Dritavrata. The wives of Kaliya tell us, the goddess of fortune, she went to the Tapovan. That means the forest of penance. Tapovan. When Guru Maharaj saw Saraswati Thakur and his devotee, he said, oh, what was practiced in the Tapovan is now in Calcutta. So, because he is the real deal. Anyway, so Lakshmi Devi, why could she not enter? Swarup Damodar is explaining, he says, Lakshmi Devi doesn't have the adhikar. How? That sounds impossible. The eligibility. Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, right, with all of her implied wealth, cannot enter the Rasa Leela. Why? And others, the Dandakaranya Rishis, the Veda Stuti, others were given admission. Mahaprabhu says, because the others took the position of Gopi Bhav and Gopi Vesh. Not only the dress of the gopis, but their heart. Right? Gopi Bhava Rasamrita Dila Hari Kalola Magnu Muhur. This is what the Goswamis themselves were relishing, being inundated by waves of the ecstatic love of the gopis for Krishna. Gopi Bhava Rasamrita Dila Hari Kalola Magnu Muhur. Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyago Shijiva Gopalago. But Swarup Damodar is saying, no, Lakshmi Devi, in this context, she wanted to enter as the goddess of fortune, could not get admission. Right? Why is she, knocking on the door, her associates, demanding that Krishna, Jagannath, present himself? So, what was your question again? Oh, Kurukshetra. So, Guru Maharaj says that Saraswati Thakur and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they went on parikrama, holy places. Just like we know, the original Navadip Dham parikrama is Srila Jiva Goswami and Nityananda Prabhu. Imagine that. And devotees have kept the tradition. One devotee shows another devotee the divine abode on the basis of what has been extended to them conceptually from Sri Guru. So Saraswati Thakur let drop the enigmatic phrase when he said in Vrindavan, same place that I couldn't find a single Vaishnav, another expression from him. We all know that Vrindavan is for shallow thinkers, hollow people. A man of substance would prefer Kurukshetra. So then so many people are offended. Foolish people. It's like Oscar Wilde saying, all art is quite useless. Foolish people don't realize, he's saying reality is for itself and by itself. You cannot use it for your own purpose. So Saraswati, Vrindavan is for shallow, hollow thinkers. What does he mean? Guru Maharaj reveals that what was conveyed to him by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in their Dham Parikrama. And in this sense, expressed by Guru Maharaj in his sutric-like expression, where he said, service, according to the intensity of its necessity, draws remuneration. That is important. Service, according to the intensity of its necessity, draws remuneration. Where does service achieve its greatest intensity and necessity? It will be where separation reaches its zenith. That is achieved in Kurukshetra. After so many years of separation from Krishna, Radharani and Brajagopis are there. Right? Those who cannot tolerate the blink of an eye separation from Krishna, now after so many years of separation, at last he is before them. But they cannot meet in the desired way, as alluded to before. Gopavesh Venukar Navakishore Natavar. The wrong age, the wrong dress, it's not the Krishna of their dreams, of their hearts and souls. Right? So Guru Maharaj compared that to, in football, when the ball gets very close to the goal, but they cannot score, it's a great loss. Right? We've heard on the London Mott near a football stadium, you hear 100,000 people. They get very close to miss the goal, and 100,000 people in unison go, oh. So imagine Radharani and Brajagopis, they get so close, they see, and then cannot achieve the goal, right? Plunging them in deeper separation. What is Krishna consciousness? Bahye Vijajalahoy, Bhitare Anandamoy Krishna Premer Adbhuta Charit. Greater pain, greater depth of heart achieved in the painfulness of experienced in separation from Krishna. So this causes Srimati Radharani to reach the greatest necessity of service from her assistants. This is what is observed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Saying, so if service necessity reaches its greatest, its zenith there, then that would be the preferable place. Whereas Vrindavan, it is famous as Milan, the land of union. The service necessity is not so great there. Here, service necessity has reached its zenith, its greatest intensity. If one will render service at that time, the greatest remuneration will come to them. So we're told, by constitutional capacity, that prem, pranay, rag, anurag, bhav, mahabhav, and the sequence given by Rupa Goswami. After prem, this bhav, that's the highest attainment possible for jiva, jiva shakti, jiva tattva, jiva souls. Right? Not mahabhav, prem. Right? Really, that mahabhav, that's limited to Radharani and Mahaprabhu. Radha Bhava Dyuta Subalita. But here, Guru Maharaj is making the point that if one can render service in that plane, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says there's no chance of ever coming back to this plane. Why? Because Rasuvarjam Rasopyasya Paramdishvani Vartate. Out of gratitude to her serving group, Guru Maharaj said, what is beyond the constitutional capacity of a jiva soul to taste or experience, meaning Mahabhav. By the grace of Srimati Radharani, she can say, here, taste what we're tasting. Have some of this substance. It's beyond your constitutional capacity to taste that. Right? These are very high things, right? But nonetheless, it's what Guru Maharaj told. Then with this conclusion, and we can't say anymore, he said, once one has had a taste of that substance, what to speak of all other tastes? All other rasas become tasteless, leading Bhaktivinoda Thakur to express, as echoed in the sentiments of Saraswati Thakur, we all know Vrindavan is for shallow, hollow thinkers. A man of real bhajan would prefer Kurukshetra. And lest we think this is something peculiar to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Saraswati Thakur, which would be good enough for us anyway. That would make it even more special. What is the focal point of Mahaprabhu himself? If someone were to try and argue against us, they would be contradicted by the very behavior and the essence of the descent of Mahaprabhu. Sri Gauranumatam Swarupa Viditam. What is known as Swarup Damodar Goswami only, particularly, by extension Ramananda, Swarup Ramananda. Right? Only they know the tasting matter of Mahaprabhu in the Gangbhira. And by extension, Raghunath Das Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. That is why the Chaitanya Charitamritam is the book. As Guru Maharaj said, it is the highest, greatest book ever published in all time, all space, all creations. The subject, what is given in Chaitanya Charitamritam. It is the esoteric of esoteric things presented there. And it's from the notes of Swarup Damodar as transferred to Raghunath Das Goswami, the Prayojan Tattva Acharya, and later expressed with the sanction of the higher devotees by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. All members of the Rupanuga line. And what are the two focal points of primary emphasis? The Ratyatra, Mahaprabhu and his devotees, Rata Rudhyasarad Adi Paravi, and the Brahma Gita, the Uddhava Darshan, which is private, and the Gangbhira. These are the two focal points, and that's underscored and re-emphasized by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Saraswati Thakur, Srila Guru Maharaj, and everyone who is an aspiring servitor in this line. Sri Rupanuga Kritimati Guru Gauranga Radha Jitasha Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. It's about these things. By the grace of Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, have any connection, such wonderful things that are beyond our capacity to properly appreciate. But what does Guru Maharaj say? It's like when children, the father leaves, we use father in this case, the parents we can say, and then some court-appointed guardian comes and says, your parents left you the following inheritance. This is and then they list out what is that property. As a child, you can understand how big is, how valuable is what they left. Just something was left to you. Like Guru said, Srila Prabhupada's followers, he went and distributed the key widely to the treasure chest. Right? So we, by the grace of Srila Guru Maharaj, our Guru Varga, have some glimpse into the nature of what is that wealth, that treasure, etc. Just like his Bhagavad Gita, hidden treasure of the sweet absolute. He's showing something there, indicating something, revealing something. Shruti bir vimrigyam. Veda is another. They're just saying, go in this direction, march in this direction, go this way. By the grace of our Guru Varga, they've been more explicit about what is our reality potential. Jive Swarupai Krishnera Nityadas, culminating in Radha Dasyam. Sri Gauranamatam Rupa Viditam Rupa Agrajena Adritam Rupadye Pariveshitam Ragu Ganaya Ashvaditam Sevitam Jivadye Barakshitam Sukha Shiva Brahma Samanitam Sri Radha Parasevanam Amritam Aho Aho Tadatami Shobhavan. Guru Maharaj is expressing what is the gift, the wealth of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But although he's qualified to express, to weigh and measure, express with great detail and accuracy what is that wealth, how does he express his aspiration? Oh, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you're so great. Your wealth is so great. Your gift to the world is the ultimate gift. What is my request from you? If you will grant me the position as a servitor of the lotus feet of your dear Dvaita Das, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Everything properly placed and expressed. No overreach. Not thinking, then I want to be, and you're not like that. So perfect. Oh, then your dear servitor, if I could be his servant, serve his holy lotus feet, grant me that. How perfectly expressed. Echoing the sentiments of Narottam, he's saying, when will Lokanath take me by the hand and offer me the lotus feet of Sri Rupa? In remembrance of the lotus feet of Sri Guru. Hare Krishna. So does that mean we shall go around telling people, oh, Vrindavan, that's for shallow, hollow people? No, to imitate the Mahabhagavata will result in degradation. As our friend Nietzsche said, there are no facts, there are only interpretations. This is an interpretation. As we said, Krishna finds the cursing of Radharani distracts him from the reverential hymns of the Vedas. He said, oh, then I'll also curse Krishna. I'm also doing that. I am also doing. Sahajiya, Prakrita Sahajiya. Deserve, then desire. Imitation is suicide. Why? Because it's not you're not being yourself. And that by that we don't mean your Facebook self, your Facebook profile. Your social network self. No, that's not what we're talking about. Jive Swarupoi, the Swarup. Servitor identity, reality potential. want to move under the guidance of Sadhu Shastra Guru Vaishnav. Modest, natural growth. We're happy for that. Not premature, artificial ripening. Hare Krishna. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama.